against Jun Death Shadow, as Steven is taking a mulligan and going down to 6 cards. Ross's loss, I've been informed, is to the Mirror, and it's to the exact list he played 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas. So there you go.
Action 1 with that being your loss feels pretty good.
Feels like you maybe got a hold on the metagame?
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. It's just, we've been doing this coverage thing a long time, and there have just been some situations where you just watch a deck and you're like, okay, this thing's something. There's something here. It felt that way when we watched Ross in Vegas. And I'm curious to see how it's going to feel now, as his deck list isn't that different. I am curious about the inclusion of Monastery Swiftspear. You don't just throw 2 of that card into your deck on accident.
I've seen some of these lists, various Arc-like Phoenix decks, play maybe a handful of Swift Spears, maybe a handful of Lava Spikes. Not necessarily 4 and 4, but some interest in speeding the deck up a little bit. When you're cantripping so much, when you're spending your mana that way, it's really nice to do something proactive on the first turn, so you're not spinning your tires the whole time.
We have a Thought Scour here from Merriam. A land and an Arc-Light Phoenix look like they've been placed into the graveyard. Those lands will be in the graveyard. There we are, Steven. As we head back over to Merriam. Ross started things off pretty simply with a Spire Bluff Canal. Now I'm curious to see what his second turn is going to yield. It's not that easy for him to bring back Arc-Light Phoenix on the second turn. Not impossible, obviously. He is a deck that does play Manamorphose and some free spells. And he is going to start with Manamorphose, so perhaps we see it happen now.
Yeah, it suggests that he's trying to go for it this turn if he's dialing it up.
Now it's an opt. And it's a bolt. Well, Arc-Light Phoenix, come on down. That 3-2, people love this card, trying to figure out the best way to go about getting it on the battlefield as early as possible. So here's an Inquisition of Kozilek. Merriam's working with a Lightning Axe, a Thing in the Ice, a Monastery Swiftspear, and a couple of islands.
Pretty weak hand here for Merriam on the leftovers. If you take the Lightning Axe out of this hand, then the hand is just a bunch of creatures that need spells to pay off, and no spells.
That doesn't strike me as particularly scary here. If you're Steven, you still have to contend with that Arc-Light Phoenix, but not the scariest of hands to see on the other side of the table. Now there's Death Shadow. Death Shadow checking in at a 4-4.
Ross got to be careful in the spot. Getting them low but not dead is a good recipe to get killed on the way back. But Ross's hand also doesn't really allow him to do a whole lot besides race.
It's an island here. In there for 3.
In theory, you can, jump block twice and hit twice with your flyer.
Well, I look, that might be the plan now.
Yep.
Now, you always have to be afraid when you're playing against a Death Shadow deck, because a lot of the time you don't know exactly what the deck list is going to be. Has it been a long time since we've seen Become Immense plus Temur Battle Rage? Yeah, it has been, but maybe it's on the top of Ross's mind right now. At the very least, I'd probably think about Temur Battle Rage more so than the combination of the two, but it's something I'd be thinking about, and he does Steven have a copy of Temur Battle Rage in hand right now. So he's going to start by attacking with this Death Shadow. 13 minus 6 means it's a 7-7, and it can grow even more because of that Wooded Foothills.
So if Temur Battle Rage is on your radar, this is lethal because he can crack for the duel.
I think you are right. So he could have gone down to 3. That made it a 10-10. Wow. I think you're actually right about that. I think he may have missed it, and he's got a Teamer Battle Rage in hand. We can see it.
No, I think that's a point short.
Well, no, you go down to 13 minus 10 is a 3-3. Or excuse me, 13 minus 3 is a 10-10. Right? Because it's a 13-13.
Yeah.
You're at 3 life. You fetch crack, go down to 3, so it's a 10-10. And just do it that way. And now you have to be slightly concerned because Ross has mana open?
No, he would have just... Anything that he's going to do, he's just going to do. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He's not going to slow roll anything unless he drew a counter spell, which doesn't seem appropriate for his style of deck.
So maybe we're missing something here with the Teamer Battle Rage, but I don't think so. And now if you're Steven, I mean, you have to attack, obviously.
I think it's only 18. Because it turns on at 12, not 13, right?
Oh, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
That's
so
my
he's
bad.
just a point short.
No. It turns on at 12 as a 1-1.
Oh, yeah, then it goes all the way. Yeah, you get to
it's
10.
It's a 10-10 now, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a 13-13 when you're at 0.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if Ross drew a blank here, I think it's no harm, no foul.
Yep. I think you just have to put everything. Well, now he's just dead. Sacrifice this, go down to 2. There's your basic. As if memory serves, Teamer Battle Rage is double strike and trample.
Yeah.
So that should take care of it. Now, if Ross would have said, I'll block with all of my creatures, that's 4, 8, 10. Still would have faced lethal. If he blocks with both Thing in the Ice, both copies of Thing in the Ice and Swift Spear on the Death Shadow, Steven could actually bring himself down to 1 if he wanted to with the other fetch land.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's just says, I'm gonna light you up for a bunch, man. So let's make sure my math's good here. So that's 13 minus 2 is 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. Yeah, so Ross is dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just making sure I'm not crazy. That's all. Yeah. Steven Snelson's going to win game number 1 here over Ross Merriam. Jund Death Shadow off the back of Teamer Battle Rage is going to win game number 1 here over Is It Phoenix. We're all in the clear here. Snelson with an approving head nod and smile, feeling pretty good about things. Currently up a game, and I would too. As we turn our attention to Merriam's sideboard with his 3 Abrades, 2 Ceremonious Rejection, 2 Alpine Moon, 2 Anger of the Gods, 2 Dispel, 2 Surgical Extraction, a Spell Pierce, and a card that was good for him in Vegas, and I imagine was good again here this weekend in RAL. Is it Viceroy?
Same 60?
No.
What do you want here?
All right, I don't want a Braid. I don't want Rejection. I don't want Alpine Moon. I don't want Anger of the Gods. I might want Dispel. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I definitely don't want Surgical Extraction.
Right.
Spell
Pierce is like on the line.
Close.
On the line, right?
RAL, probably too expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, let me see. Is there some sort of stinker in Ross's main deck? There's got to be a stinker in there, right?
No, his deck is just all engine. It's just cantrips and his threat cards.
You like those Swift Spears?
They're not great in this sort of matchup, but
yeah. Is that anything?
What do you want to?
How good's Gut? I guess you probably have to keep Gut Shot in. You need a free spell for Arclight Phoenix.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't really kill anything in the matchup, you probably still got to keep it in.
And I'm sure there's spots where, the Death Shadow player gets low and Gut Shot facilitates some sort of bursty kills on the way back.
Yeah, Pakula got to kill his opponent with a Death Shadow player went down to 1 and he Gut Shotted him earlier this weekend. So I think I can see same 60, but I kind of like a little bit of interaction.
Sure.
I feel like a decent amount of the time, the card you're going to lose to is Teamer Battle Rage.
Yeah, that's fair. There's just not that many Dispel targets in the deck is what makes me nervous.
No, absolutely. You're absolutely right about that.
So, I don't know. My intuition is same 60. I think the Pierce and Dispel are justifiable. Might bring him in.
Let's go to Steven Snelson. 3 Anger of the Gods, 2 Collective Brutality, 2 Dampening Spheres, 2 Nihil Spell Bombs, 2 Surgical Extraction, 4 one-ofs, Fatal Push, Assassin's Trophy, Liliana the Veil, Bedlam Revla.
I really like the Fatal Push, and I would consider Anger of the Gods for this matchup too, because the Phoenix is kind of problematic. Can't interact with it with things like now Spellbomb because it still tracks the exile. So I think Anger of the Gods is worth considering.
All right. Players are shuffling up. Game number 2 about to be underway. First, we got to sell you something. And by something, I mean a bunch of stuff. Because you can give the gift of SCG. Drink it in, man. All December long. Go to StarCityGames.com/SCG merch. Let's take a look at this. Now, this is a graphic. This is what I'm talking about. We got these awesome new hoodies. We got the Archive by Ultimate Guard. We got the Supreme sleeves by Ultimate Guard. We got the Boulder by Ultimate Guard. Creature Collection sleeve. Tarmo dice. This Magic gift pack. I don't know what's going on with that product.
Yeah.
Game Night. They stole from our Game Night branding, probably. Let's see.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure, actually.
And they've had Game Night for a while.
The SCG. Ooh, gift night. The gift pack? He said gift night. Game Night? Is it Game Night has 5 exclusive cards in it?
Cool.
Yeah, that sounds fun. The StarCityGames.com X4 binder and the mat sleeves as well. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff up there as well. Go to StarCityGames.com/SCG merch. Check it out. Give the gift of SCG. Drink it in.
Or just buy it for yourself.
You can give gifts to yourself.
A lot of these ads are, and you know what? You deserve it.
Yeah.
A lot of these ads are framed as though it's for, it's holiday shopping. So we sort of imply that it's for, friends and family, shopping for others. Shop for yourself.
You watch Parks and Rec?
You don't owe your family anything.
Well.
Go get yourself a hoodie.
You watch Parks and Rec, man?
I have.
Treat yourself.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's all. Treat yourself this December. That's what I'm going to do.
The last season was the worst season of television that's ever.
All right, so I haven't watched it, and you're telling me I shouldn't.
It is so.
Is it bad, really?
It's so bad that I couldn't even hate watch it.
Oh, man. I mean, the first season of that show is heinous.
I thought it was okay.
The first 5 episodes are so bad, man. They really are bad.
I'm not a huge Park and Rec person to begin with. The last season is unwatchable and casts a pall on the whole series.
That's tough. Because seasons 2, 3, and 4 are fire. They're really, really good. I wonder what it's like to make TV. Like, once your show is good, because you just want to keep making it be good. Like, everyone thinks your show's awesome. Like, I wonder how stressful it was to just keep making episodes of Breaking Bad. It's like, I don't want to make a bad one.
No, that's not true because the last few episodes were bad and no one cared. So
Breaking Bad?
Oh, I think the 3 post-Ozymandias ones are really bad.
Okay, I was going to say, if you said Ozymandias was bad, we were going to have a huge problem.
That's an
elite episode of television.
I'm not a huge whatever. That's sort of the tail end of that show. I'm not really that into. That episode's still, but the ones that come after it, where Hank has like weird superpowers and just like comes back down, and
you mean Walter?
Walter, and it just total fan service, just total BS, just giving the 17-year-old boys who watch that show everything they want. Comes barreling down the mountains of New Hampshire, just shoots up people, harasses his ex-wife, whatever. Just all of this, all the things that they would imagine they would do in that set of circumstances. Get mad at their old business partners, whatever. Just whatever.
You're just not into it.
It's really bad.
I like the last episode of the show.
I think it's trash. But that's okay. I get it. It's really popular. It's hard to conclude a show like that kind of cleanly. It's always weird when, Walter's sort of straddling the line between regular guy who's just awesome at some things and sort of weird superpowers in certain spots. How do you resolve that character? But, yeah. The FBI would have gunned him down within seconds. The idea that he would have gotten to his ex-wife's house and just chat her up and then just harass his old business partners and then just,
I think you're just not having it. You're just not. You would just really light into Vince Gilligan if you met him.
Every person who encountered him in the last episode would have killed him on sight. And he would have not gotten out of New Hampshire.
Here is an Inquisition of Kozilek.
Goes harasses his old neighbor, just whoever.
Hey, there's the spell pierce.
Yeah. Okay.
There it is. Took care of the discard spell. Here's the follow-up. That is going back to your hand.
Yeah, send it back.
That is not going to be there. And you are going to take a lot of damage. Thing in the ice. Gut shot you. I like it. Pay the mana for the gut shot. Okay. Get in for 7. Let's make it 8 total with the gut shot. Pretty good turn. I would have liked to see how you would have concluded Breaking Bad. You write the show. I think it would have ended with just him gone.
He would have just died of cancer.
Yeah.
The end.
Sure. It's a cleaner ending, I guess.
Yeah.
Tarmogoyf and Death Shadow are about to infiltrate the battlefield. Now, what's interesting about this is that Awoken Horror, that's a big creature. That thing's no joke, and yet Death Shadow can get larger than it pretty quickly. The follow-up now is Lightning Axe is huge here for Ross. Taking care of the Death Shadow, because that's obviously the bigger problem. Surgical oh no. Insane.
So that surgical, he gets to pay the Phyrexian mana for it.
So that means that Steven is down to 6. Death Shadows is 6/6.
Survives.
Or 7, 13 minus 6, 7/7. Survives the Lightning Axe. And Ross's follow-up Lightning Axe is not big enough to kill this.
Well, it's not castable.
Also that.
Yeah, he has no cards in his hand.
But dealing 5 to this isn't going to do it. So now the Death Shadow is going to be able to check the Awoken Horror. Insane surgical extraction.
And Snelson has a Thoughtseize left over, so he can actually tag the Lightning Axe. He's in the clear. And go to 4, so you don't have to worry about a Phoenix.
Probably start attacking.
Oh, yeah.
With the Death Shadow. Why hang back?
Yeah, start shipping it in, for sure.
That's a huge surgical extraction. So let's see. 13 minus 6, 7. Tarmogoyf is a 4-power creature. That's 11. Thoughtseize is going to make it so it's 13, and there's a Gore Clan Rampager in hand.
Ross might have to send in here.
Just to trade with the Death Shadow?
Yeah.
I think you might be right,
or
actually.
get a chump block out of the Tarmogoyf. But hanging back on defense, where are you going?
So I don't think there's a creature in the graveyard, right? There's an instant. No, Swiss Spear's in the graveyard. Never mind. I was seeing if Steven could kill Ross no blocks next turn, and depending on his draw step, he might be able to, because right now we're counting 13 minus 6 is 7 for Death Shadow, plus 4 is 11. Thoughtseize, lose 2 life, that's 13. Gore Clan Rampager is 17.
Yep. I think Ross has got to ship in.
Yeah, I think you're right.
His block is worse than this attack. He's either trading off with the Shadow or... Okay, well, this is a pretty confident block.
A little surprised by that block.
Unless you think you got lethal rolled up.
From 18?
Just saying.
I mean, it's not impossible. There's Thoughtseize. Fetch. He can go down to 1.
That's weird, yeah.
Yeah, that's... Well, no, now, for what it's worth, this Death Shadow is just larger than the Awoken Horror. So Steven's still fine.
But it's not putting him in the abyss. I'm saying, the block that I like from Snelson last turn is...
With Death Shadow.
You either crack back for lethal with Death Shadow and chump with the Goyf.
Yep.
Or you trade off and it's your Goyf against his nothing.
And your Thought's using his Lightning Axe.
Right.
Yeah, so he doesn't have a removal spell anymore, and it's just your Goyf just kind of trucking in.
Right. I don't like this line of let's hang tight and...
I don't like it against
no attacks, no blocks.
I don't like it against the Is It Cantripping deck, as there's a thing in the ice. And now you've got some concerns about what this can do in this game.
Well, not only is there the long-term implications of, drawing enough spells to flip over again, but also it's just a chump blocker that cuts off Snelson's ability to maybe put Merriam in the abyss.
Yep. Snelson will draw. Picked up a copy of Assassin's Trophy.
Well, that's game. Well, not game, but it's really good.
I mean, it makes it tough. I think you got to take it. We're looking at 13 minus 4, so 9/9. He can make it into a 12/12.
I mean, Ross could also block with the 0/4 if he wanted to, because it protects you from Team or Battle Rage if that's a concern. And you're probably going to have to chump block at some point anyway. And I don't know how much... even if you cantrip 4 times in a row, I don't think you're going to play that many turns. Even if you stacked your deck, it would be hard to get this flipped over. All right, he's just taking it.
Trophy that. What does Ross got to draw here? Now this is interesting. He did not search for a land because he knew it was coming. Serum Visions. Down to 3. Draw. 1, 2. This is interesting. So I think there's a Lightning Bolt among those cards.
Just hoping that you can trap here.
Yeah. Part of me feels like if I'm Ross, I feel like that's the only way that I can win. Assuming I can draw another card this turn. Swift Spear. That's another blocker. In for 1.
I mean, he's set up if you can get to next turn, but I suspect it's not happening.
So Shadow obviously going to block. That's a Rampager. 10. That's a 10 power creature. 13 minus 3 is 10. 14. Yep. 10 trample. Steven Snelson. Going to get his job done here over Ross Merriam. Jun's Death Shadow is going to take care of Is It Phoenix? 2 games to 0.